Greetings to all, and thank you for joining me for this weekly meditation and for the video montage which follows. On the Christian calendar, this week begins with the day of Pentecost, a day when Christians remember the power of the Holy Spirit alive and active in the world. The story comes from the book of Acts, chapter 2, verses 1 through 21. And the primary symbols used in that story to express the coming of the Spirit in power upon the disciples are the symbols of wind and fire. Wind and fire, the power and the energy of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit, which moves the disciples out of the upper room in a building and into the streets of Jerusalem, out into the world, to proclaim divine love by word and deed, to bring healing to the world's brokenness by word and deed, and to speak and do this love and this healing in ways that all people can understand. That's the story. It's a story of the love, the healing, and the understanding, which all flow from the energy of the Holy Spirit. It's that kind of wind and fire. However, today is also a day when in the streets of our own cities, the symbols of wind and fire we see make plain before our eyes a very different kind of energy. What we see are the end results of generations of systemic racism and institutionalized racism, which continues to operate fueled by an unholy energy of its own. The kind of wind and fire which continues to give breath and power to systemic racism is the energy created by the unholy spirit of not knowing the realities of racism. It is the energy created by not confessing our complicity in contributing to racism. And it is the energy created by not engaging in the actions necessary to dismantle the insidious structure of an institutionalized racism. It is out of the building and into the midst of this unholy energy of not knowing, not confessing, and not engaging the realities of racism that the Holy Spirit sends the church today. The Holy Spirit sends the church today to learn what we need to learn about the experience of blacks, indigenous peoples, and people of color in this country we all share. The Holy Spirit sends the church today to look for and confess the things we do and leave undone, which, whether intentionally or unintentionally, result in keeping systemic racism in place. The Holy Spirit sends the church today to do what, according to our own resources and abilities, we are able to do to remove belief by belief and behavior by behavior the structure which allows institutional racism to thrive. The Holy Spirit sends the church today to do this work with the power of wind, which is the very breath of divine compassion, and with the power of fire, which is the blazing energy of divine love. So stay with me a moment longer, and may the sights and sounds of this video montage become for you a prayer for God's compassionate love to come down upon all of us, granting us what we need to meet the challenges of days to come with divine wind and divine power. The Holy Spirit with us, in us, and among us.